let's move on to the issue of Havla within Unit 12 of the Moreno units for the Menucha of Sunem Dangar Sumos Matifiori. The Gemara, as we said, says, Lo ratzah liteno b'matana mahu amar Rav Huna mavliya lo dmei etrog belulav. What does that mean? Says Rashi, Yimkor lulav b'yoker ad shiteno etrog b'matana. He says, I'll make you a special deal. I'll say this lulav for 150 shekels. Say, I don't know, this is a pretty expensive lulav there. Like, yeah, but if you buy this lulav for 150 shekels, I'll give you a etrog for free. So the Rambam writes slightly. The Rambam doesn't seem as explicit. The Rambam says, it's not so clear what the Rambam means. See here in the Chazon Ish. There are two ways of understanding what the word Havla means. One way of understanding the word Havla means what Rashi is saying. Rashi says, I'll sell you the lulav for 150 shekels and I'll give you the etrog for free. Or I can say, let's not. You want our minim? How many minim is that? That's 4 minim. The whole thing, 150 shekels. Yeah. Say, okay, how much of that is a etrog? Say, yeah, nothing. Why? Because it's shvit, so or nothing, right? But as long as you're not explicit, you're okay. That seems to be right. The way it should work, presumably, is right. I sell you the arba minim for 150 shekels. Then how much is for the etrog? I don't know. Probably 0. Because shvit, so it should be 0. And I didn't say how much it is, right?
You don't have to make it.
Right. As opposed to Rashi, Rashi says no, you have to be explicit, right? You need to be explicit. See the Rav. I mentioned the Rav Soloveitchik. Rav Lirashi Havla Eletza. Hooray! Which is a bigger chidush? Oh, according to Rashi, there's no real chidush, right? Because I'm saying, I'll buy this lulav, I'll overprice the lulav, and the etrog really will be for free. So there's no chidush. You're allowed to give a Shmita for free. According to the Rambam, there's a bigger chidush, right? According to the Rambam, you're saying I'm selling the etrog. I don't know what that's over. For 150 shekels, and I know that the etrog must be free, otherwise, says the Rav. Right? It's an eitzah how to get out of the problem. There's not chinam. לרמב"ם יש כאן הלכה מחודשת, שמוכרים האתרוג עם לולב ביחד, חלות דין דמי שביעית נוהגת, שדמים ניתנים בעד כולם בהבלעה, בלקח חפצה של דמי שביעית. המקח אינו מיוחד לחפצה של שביעית, משום מה אינו נכלל בדין מקח שביעית. וכך דומה דינה של שביעית בדין שכר שבת, שכשמבליעים אין חלות איסור לשכר שבת, וכן בדמי שביעית. הבלעה לי ברמב"ם מהווה הלכת היתר בדין תפיסת דמי שביעית, אינה עצה טובה בעלמא כרש"י. Meaning it's a way to matir selling the etrog. The Rashi is just saying getting around the issue of he doesn't really want to give it to us. So let's see Sfat Emet, who goes a bit deeper. Oh, so on Shabbos it usually looks more like the Rambam, right? On Shabbos, what do? You're going to be a chazan somewhere on Shabbos. Any chazanim out here? You're going to be a chazan somewhere on Shabbos. All right, let's take right. Or you go to be a scholar in residence on Shabbos. That maybe happens more frequently to some of the people around here. And the shul is going to give you some money. So what do you say? I'll sweep the shul first, and Okay. So prepare, right? Prepare is more. I'm dafka taking the cheaper, right? Prepare, you can say the real effort really is the preparation. Shabbos, you're just giving shiur, whatever. But the preparation, that's the real work, right? But the poskim would say, yeah, sweep the floor before Shabbos and then be a chazan the whole Shabbos, right? Chazans, maybe there's a bit less to prepare if you have a party, you don't have a party, whatever. Depends. I don't know. Why? It's different. The point is, when the poskim say sweep the floor before, we say, all right, you're getting 2,000 shekels for Shabbos. I don't really think that you pay You pay the cleaner the same thing when he washes the building, right? For when he swept the floor. So it's havla, it's together. It sounds more like the Rambam. You see the Sfat Emet, Melshon Rambam Mashma, the Gam Bestam, Shemishalem Lo Bad Kol Mehani. It's enough. It's enough. Just pay for the whole thing together. וזה לוקח ליתן כל המרות בעד הלולב ולא לאתרוג, לא נחשב תשלומים דמי פירות שביעית. במקום גזל לא הווה דמה נפקא מן על הארץ, כיוון שמשלם לו כפי רצונו. Right. Right, so if I have kavana, I say, oh, I know why you're giving me the etrog. He says, yeah, because you gave me 150 shekels. I says, no, because pirot shvi'it. Like, okay, fine, whatever you say, boss. As long as you, right? Because what's he saying? He's saying, if I say, all right, so I'm taking the etrog for free, I'll pay 150 shekels for the lulav. He says, papa, the etrog costs 70 shekels. So if you admit that you're paying 150 shekels for the lulav, sure, 70 more, right? No, right? You have to go there. Shlomo Zalman prefers going in Rashi's way because he doesn't like cheating as much. Shlomo Zalman is too straight for us. It's a problem. You have to define. This is what I'm paying for the lulav. אינו יכול להבליע גוף על פירות, שהרי עליו להודיע ללוקח איזה פירות שביעית של שביעית. I have to say, which are for שביעית. כן עליו לדמים, לכן מבליע דמי היין בני קנקנים, בזעקת יש סחורה גמורה פירות שביעית, לא חשיב אבל לדמים, הבלעה כלל. Now, you have to realize that this is a real nafkamina. This isn't some, all right, a cute idea of how to buy arba minim. It's an important thing for the following. When I go to Rami Levi now, and I have fruit that's pirot shvi'it, what's our big deal? Pirot shvi'it. Now, if I pay for the fruit, we're going to talk about, do I pay for the fruit? But if I pay for the fruit, or if it's heter mechira, and I'm worried that I'm getting heter mechira, right? I'm getting heter mechira money, and I don't talk about it, assuming I don't talk about heter mechira, right? So I can have a solution. I'll pay 1,000 shekels for this whole shop. For the whole shop. How much is made for it? No, no. When you have the bill and it's itemized, it doesn't help you. Right? So that's a problem. Saying also going to Rambam doesn't help you, right? Right, you're right. That's what I'm saying. I'm skipping to the next part. You're right. אינו דומה להיתר עוולה דמציל עניין שבת. אתה מותר לקח שכר גם עבור השבת, רק שיהיה בעוולה. Shlomo Zalman says there's a fundamental difference. You're allowed to take schar Shabbat. It's just not allowed to be nikar. But you're really not allowed to take it dmei shvi'it. That's the difference. So that's why the essence of the avla is different. Now the Yerushalmi gives us other solutions based on this. החנווני שהיה מבשל ירקות בשביעית, לא היה מחשב שכרו על דמי שביעית. מחשב על היין ועל השמן ועל האבטלה. Meaning, you want to sell a stew. In your stew, you have holy carrots. So sell the stew, don't sell the carrots. Same bowl of stew. So I'm charging for everything else, not the carrots. Right? This is going to touch Tsar Beidin, right? We're talking about, right? This goes to Tsar Beidin, where what we do is we gather the fruit from somewhere else, we bring it to the city and sell it there. Now, what are you paying for? You're allowed to sell the fruit. You're allowed to pay for the fact that I picked it, I loaded it, I brought it to the city. Now it's closer to you, more convenient for you. All those things. Says the Ridvaz Te'ud Gadol. Now, what do I want to do? I want to say like this. I'm going to sell the grapes for the regular price. You say, wait, how can you sell the grapes for the regular price? I say, hold on, slow down. What's the real price? It's part of the prices for picking. Part of the price is for loading, part of the price is for, all of the overhead, and part of the price is for the item itself. So I'm mavliya the damim of the item itself and everything else. Says the Ridvaz that doesn't work. Why? Because if I have a few different items, I can say this item is muvla and the other items. But if I have one item, a grape, I can't muvla one and the other. So the truth is, when I read this, I wasn't entirely sure what he means. I just know that it says shomu shamayim, which is pretty strong, but strong words from the Ridvaz. But I'll tell you what I think he means, and I think we're going to go deeper into this in Unit 19. Unit 19, we're going to go deeper into this point. But I think what he's saying is like the following. When I sell something, how do you price something? There are two fundamental ideas behind what pricing could mean. How do you price what? How do you price something? The answer is the value the market puts on this item. Zero. That's it. The other way is to say, well, I have this overhead, I have this, right? I have all of these expenses that I need to cover, and I want to make some money after all is said and done. And the money I'm making is for my work. I take 50 shekels an hour, I take 100 shekels an hour, whatever I'm taking, right? So I'm taking 100 shekels an hour for my work in the field. So I'm picking and I'm loading, I'm doing all that. So I'm taking money for the work. And I have overhead, etc., right? All that, now I want, right? That's how I price it, right? But that's not the truth. That's not the way things are priced. The way things are priced are the market value. Now, if you say, but that doesn't meet my overhead, I say, well, so you're in the wrong business, man, right? I actually, in fact, I got a phone call 3 hours ago from a Rav of a yeshuva in Arava who has a bit of a problem with the local dates. They have certain trees that are old trees. They keep them because they're nice, but they make a mess. They're old dates. They're not very good dates. They will become edible eventually, but half of them will fall and rot and be yucky before that. They want to pick all of them. What they usually do is they just cut them all down very, very early in the season. I'm not supposed to do that on Shmita. And why don't they harvest the dates properly? And the answer is because it's not worth it by now. Bringing the machinery in and picking them properly, harvesting them properly over time, and they're not all ready at the same time. It's expensive machinery because you have to go 10, 15 meters up in the air to pick these dates. So these dates, they keep them because they're nice, but they're just not worth their effort. Why? Just to make a mess. Solely for that. So very early in the season, they just chop them all down and take them out to the fields and use them for compost. Not because they're such great compost, just because they don't want to pick the tree. So they do it once in the season, early in the season, get rid of all the mess. Otherwise, they just start falling everywhere and being yucky. So they pick them once early in the season and they never become properly edible. So here's an example, live example, 3 hours. The question is, what can they do now? Right? They can't pick these partly edible, part not edible dates and just use them for compost. It's a problem. So it really is a problem. So we have some solutions. I can go to that right now, but I just want to demonstrate this isn't some out there. There's an idea that it's not worth the harvesting. 3 hours ago, someone called me with this question. So, and I'm not even a businessman. Now, many businesses, it's not worth it if it's not the price right. So that's so figure it out, work it out. Right, in some other. So truthfully, pricing has to work in one of two ways. You could price it based on your work and a bit of, based on your overhead, or you can price based on the market value. Really, we price based on the market value, and that means it's the value of the grape. The other option is to say, I'm not doing market value, I'm working overhead. But what can you not do, says the Ridvaz? Say, I'm going to do both. I'm selling you the grape, pricing as usual, but what I intend on is to charge for overhead.
That's just a fact.
And a mavliya, what the grape is worth in the overhead. No, you're not.
Because it's just a fact. That's the reason.
No, because it's a farce. Truly, it's a farce. In other words, no one prices like that. That's not how pricing works. It's a farce because it's sheker. How about I'll sell you these grapes and some oxygen? That's what I mean. You can't move it, right? Right, and it's right. It's not. It's a farce in the sense that, in the sense that that's not how pricing works. Pricing fundamentally either prices the item, normally price the item. In this case, we have to price the work and the overhead, etc. But you can't say I'm going to mafliya item itself in the work, because no one prices the two. That's just not something that's done. So there.
Why is that different to the second way, the second model?
The second model never prices the item itself.
That's only on the labor.
You can price labor, you can price items. You can't price the two together and say I'm mavliya one and the other.
Even not in Shmita.
What?
Not in Shmita.
In Shmita, you could do whatever you want.
I think that I'm asking you to say you can't have here. It's not how it works.
You can't halachically because that's not the way the market works. Because there's no such market system. You could do havla as long as there really is such a market, but you can't invent a new way of working with the market. It's not. So there. Let's just finish off with 2 points here. I'll read Rav Kook, I'll read Shlomo Zalman, finish that. This is Rav Kook, המשפט כהן בעל פייג'ר, אף אחד דמיlt ראוי להתנות עם המוכר שכל הדמים יהיו רק בעד הכלים והחבילה, בעצם הפירות יהיו במתנה בהבלעה. זאת בחשש סחורה. כך אני ראוי לעשות לכתחילה ומחת האתרוגים, שיהיו עם הלולובים ביחד בהבלעה, ופלטין מדין בי שביעית מסור סחורה, כל פנים כל מדי אפשר להדורי בדר תקנתא, תפי עדיף. So you have to be explicit and say the fruit itself is matana. I want to be clear about that. So that's number one. Shlomo Zalman continues. Like Rashi. Yes, correct. Sorry. Yeah. I forgot to say. Rav Kook says go like Rashi. Like Rashi and say be explicit. Shlomo Zalman says yesh lakpid שההבלה תהיה סבירה. להבלי הפירות שביעית שווים מנה, ופירות שישית שווים פרוטה. לא להבלי בדבר שאינו שימושי. זה לא כמעט ערך ממוני, כי התשלום עבור בהבלה, כשהתשלום הוא עבור האריזה. כפנדה וככוחה והתלולה, which is interesting, right? Because the question is, when you say savir, is that Rashi doesn't sound very severe. Why? Because how much do you normally pay for a lulav? 30 shekels. Suddenly you're selling it for 100 shekels. Why? Why does the lulav cost 4 times as much as usual? Because you're getting the etrog for free. So it seems that Rashi, even Rashi, was more machmir, was more, more zurim than Shlomo Zalman, right?
Can I try one before just